Hey guys, Ignacio here again. So it's mango season here in Florida, and some of our friends and neighbors have been kind enough to give us some mangoes. So we have a lot of mangoes, more than we can eat. And what I usually do is I make mango jam. I am in my backyard and I am going to cut a little bit of Mexican tarragon. This is going to add a little bit of like a licorice taste to my mango jam. So I'm just basically going to cut a few sprigs, and this is very, very strong. I will use the flour as well, and this is more than enough. This recipe is very simple. All I need are my 3 mangoes, a third cup of sugar, white sugar, regular sugar, 2 or 3 sprigs of the Mexican tarragon, that depends how large they are, a pot, and 3 canning jars that I usually recycle from salsas and what have you. You can see here that I've got different sized chunks. I have larger chunks, some smaller chunks. I took out most of the mango that I can take out. My mangoes are like really big, really thick. So what I really want is for some of the mango to dissolve, and I want some other larger chunks that I want to be able to fill in my jam when I'm eating it. So I want this whole thing to become rich in texture. After cutting them, basically I'll just put them in my pot. I'm gonna start this off on high and just like start mixing. I like using a wooden spoon, one with a very long handle, so that I don't get burnt when it starts boiling. And then when the pot gets hot, I will lower the heat. And I have not added any water, and I never added water to any of my jams. The fruit will give off the water it needs itself. You can see that the mangoes are already giving a lot of water. I just cook it like for about 15 minutes, or until I reach a texture that I consider it to be the texture I want in my jam. It really depends on the heat of your stove and your personal taste. Same thing with the sugar. I like a third cup of sugar. You may want it a little bit sweeter, but I think the sweetness of the mangoes and the third cup is more than enough. Now, as far as the yield, I think it may yield maybe 1.5 jars or 2 if I'm lucky. I'm always hopeful I'm going to get 3 jars out of 3 mangoes, but that's not going to happen because it's going to reduce a lot. You can see it's boiling. I don't want it to boil. I want to mix it so that it all starts warming up evenly, and I get that nice beautiful texture. So you have to constantly mix until it's done. You can see that most of the fruit has already dissolved. I have very little amount of chunks, and I decided I am going to give at least one of my jars away to the person that gave me the mangoes. So since I'm doing that, I added an extra ingredient, which is half a lime, and basically I did this as a preservative because I don't know when they're going to consume it. That will add a little bit of different flavor to the mango, but it's going to taste really nice, and it's going to keep it in the fridge for at least 2 months. You can already see that you see the bottom of the pot. that means it's ready, and I am going to change my spoon to something I can use to put my jam in my jars.